I can never get anything done with people in this place. Freeman's over here honking the horn. We also just got an E-Ray in from the factory. I can't hardly believe she's getting her license and we'll be driving a car. I feel like just yesterday I was holding her as a baby. What my thought process is on how to earn someone's business when you have no control over the situation. All right, ladies and gents, we got a car deal. We sold the used. It's currently Thursday, right around 12 noon. I have my customer signing papers right now on the GMC. So this will be down the road, burning gas later today. We also just got an E-Ray in from the factory, so I have it pulled up here, staged, ready to go. Gonna do a quick video on this car, which you may have seen already, because that'll probably get uploaded before the one you're watching right now. I also recently sold this, a 2022 Mazda CX-30. Very, very, very special client of mine. I can't hardly believe she's getting her license and we'll be driving a car. I feel like just yesterday I was holding her as a baby. This is going to be a great first car for her. You know, it's a good size. It's a 2.5 liter turbo. It's all-wheel drive. It only has 8,700 miles on it. It's a one-owner vehicle with a clean Carfax. The previous owner leased it and only drove, 5,000-6,000 miles a year. So it's in excellent condition. There's only two little spots on it. This one wheel has some, curb rash, which an oil-based paint marker may be good just to touch that up. You won't even know it was there. And then the same thing on the back wheel here. There's a little bit of a curb mark. Other than that, this car has no dings. It has no scratches. The interior is perfect. It is just a super nice, clean car. And I just know she's gonna love it and she's gonna get years and years of good use out of it. When you look at the inside, it has all the fun stuff, right? It has leather interior. It has a sunroof, which is a nice, nice addition. Of course, it has push button start. It has heated seats. You got some steering wheel controls here for the radio, for cruise, for Bluetooth. It has memory seat for driver 1 and driver 2. Of course, power seat, power mirrors, all that sort of stuff. About the only downside to this vehicle versus the Chevrolet vehicle is it's not a touchscreen. So you're gonna use this to control the screen up top. But it's not all that bad. You got a home button, you got a music note for your radio, a navigation button for navigation, a back button, and then this rotates and also presses in as a button. So depending on what you want to do on the screen, you're going to get used to just using this and manipulating these menus. Of course, it has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all that sort of stuff. So again, just a really nice first car for a brand new driver. The last thing I'm going to show you on this fine Thursday is the bed liner install, the aftermarket spray-in that we had done in this truck. I'm going to pull it over to the truck section so we can do a little comparison, or a little before and after, if you will. Because somebody had asked me in my comments to do that when we got this truck back. I got two trucks pulled up here. This is a new truck that's ready for delivery that is with the spray and bed liner already installed. This is the same exact color truck. Now it's a 1500 2FL. This has the Turbo Max, but that has the V8, but they're the same color, they're the same size, and they're the same size bed. So if we press our tailgate button here, we can drop this down and you'll notice this is the before, right? So we touched on this the other day. Obviously all these little plugs get pulled out and they do the spray liner. They make sure all the drain holes are still clear. This way everything drains out the way it should. And they basically do a full spray and liner. This is the finished product. Press the button here. You can see it looks fantastic. Again, all the drain holes will be functional. All these little access points where you can put GM accessories are all removed. It's sprayed and then they're put back in. There's a real nice line here along the edge of the bed, along the window. Here on the side, you can kind of see exactly where they edge it. And then they kind of curve along the bottom of the bed here, right in the tailgate. So it overhangs. So the water and everything could just kind of drain off and down into the tailgate. All this stuff is removed. It's painted and then put back on. And it's just really a nice texture. Now I have a Chevy Colorado over here, which is the only one I currently have with the factory spray and bed liner. So I'm gonna take that and put it next to it. We're gonna look at that as well. We're gonna compare the two. Change of plans. The spot on the other side of the Colorado here is available. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna back this one right in up against that one. And we'll be able to do a little back and forth comparison. Again, with the aftermarket spray-in that we have an outside company that does for us versus the factory spray-in. Let me show you. Oh, Open this back up, go to the Colorado. It says the easy lower tailgate. All right, so factory spraying. Now I feel bad because the sun is in a weird spot, so like the shadows it's casting is pretty crazy. But as you can see, in my opinion, if you look at this looks fantastic. Obviously all the same stuff is going to be accessible with little plugs and things like that. Drain holes obviously are going to be good. Your tie down points are all looking good and covered, but it doesn't seem as textured or as even as a texture. So like here, there's some stuff like little specks and things that are in the paint, but they're not everywhere. If you look at this really just has a more uniform feel to it. It's really a nice job. It almost seems like a thicker layer or more aggressive layer, if you will, as far as the actual texture of it, like the texture of the paint. Like when you look at this, you can see it's just very textured, very durable looking. Whereas here, not so much. Not that this is bad, but it just doesn't seem as thick. Actually, a very good example is, look at this Colorado here. Up top, it actually seems more textured than down lower. Even if you look at the back where that Chevy bow tie is, it almost looks like the paint is thicker in some spots than in others. Compared to this one where you look at it, everything is just very uniform and very even. I can never get anything done with people in this place. Freeman's over here honking the horn. I just got a phone call that I have a customer here. I think it's the folks that are picking up this truck. So we're going to get them all set up in their new Silverado, have them sign up all the paperwork and take physical delivery. And then we're gonna continue this video, but we're gonna continue on Friday. Again, today's Thursday. The next segments you see will be Friday, and I'm thinking about uploading this on Saturday morning. So hopefully you have a nice video to watch. We're back, it's Friday, we're getting the day started. You know, first we go to any kind of leads, we go to unanswered comms, things like that. I am going back and forth via text with the gentleman on a Trax lease because he will not take a phone call. He literally said, I won't take a phone call, I want everything in writing. So we're working that. In the meantime, I'm also getting a couple cars cleaned. Dave Friedman, the other Dave here, sold the blue Trailblazer that's on the showroom floor. So we're gonna have a white one cleaned up. It's the RS trim. This way we can replace it once we back that one out. We're also getting a red Traverse RS cleaned up for the showroom as well. So we'll have 3 cars in the showroom for tomorrow, for Saturday. Before I go back in and kind of go back to my computer and work on trying to make appointments and get things sold, I want to mention the tow hook again, because a lot of people asked how this tow hook affects this camera right here. That's not a sensor, it's a camera. So I'm going to show you on the screen exactly what you see when you put the camera on. We'll get her started up here and pull up the camera button. Let me close the door, it'll be a little quieter. Camera button is right here. So as you're driving up to like a curb or something like that, you can just pop this on and it pulls the camera right up. You do see the tow hook on the right hand camera and also on that simulated overhead view, but it does not affect the view as far as you know, it being a useful camera when you are pulling up to a curb. I actually really like the tow hook. We're gonna leave it on. I think it looks good. As far as the Nürburgring decal, didn't really give it any much thought as far as where I want to put it. So that's something that's still an ongoing decision. And then in a couple days, on October 15th, Paragon Performance is having Paragon Day, I guess, where they're having like a 1-day, 24-hour sale on all their named merchandise. And I'm not gonna lie, we had a customer here with the Paragon Performance Touring exhaust, and it did sound great. So I'm thinking, do I pick up an exhaust system for the car and then make like an install video or something like that? Haven't fully decided yet, but if the price is right, I may just do that. I just took a phone call from a gentleman who saw this Colorado on our website. As you can see, it's got an orange blanket on it, right? There's no photos of the car. There is a price, and there is all like the vehicle info. What this means, this car was just traded in. So I told him, I said, listen, let me gather your info. Let me call you back once I put eyes on the vehicle, because they want to come down and look at it today. I went in the back. It's in detail. It has not been detailed yet. But again, the customer can come down and look at it. So we set the appointment. They're on their way. I'm gonna run in the back, I'm gonna pull it up front, and I just told them, like, please understand, this is in the condition it was traded. We didn't, you know, finish our reconditioning process as of yet. This is the truck right here. It was actually to be cleaned next, but since this customer's on their way down, we're just gonna bring it up front. Yeah, the bed has to be cleaned. Looks like it's got some WeatherTech mats from the previous owner. We'll throw these in the back. Inside, actually, looks like the inside was already done. So it's just the exterior that has to be done. I'm looking for the push button. It's a turnkey. The other thing I want to go over with you when I go back inside is the interaction I've been having with the gentleman that's communicating via text only. And this is one of those good examples of just to kind of give you an idea of what my thought process is on how to earn someone's business when you have no control over the situation. So we're going to get into that in a second. I do just want to have this vehicle up front because these folks said they're on their way and they're not coming from that far, so they should be here relatively soon. Right now it's about 20 to 1, and if they're where they say they are, they should be here within 10-15 minutes. I'm going to park this right here on the edge final spot here. I'm glad that the interior is done. That's nice. So at least most of it's detailed. The exterior is sort of the easy part. We do have a guy that you've seen in videos in the past, Dave, that does our dent and ding repair. He actually had a surgery and he's recovering. He'll be fine, but in the process, we don't have a dent or ding guy at the moment. And I noticed when I was just back there that this truck on the other side here does have a couple of dings on this door, which he would be able to get right out. So we reconditioned it as much as we can, and in something like that, if it bothers the customer and they'd rather have it fixed than like a price concession, we would just do what's called a WEO, where we would have a form that they sign at delivery that says we owe you this fix, and then when our guy's back, we can schedule the appointment and bring it in. You'll also notice there's all wax and stuff, I guess, from where they started doing certain things with detail, but the full exterior will get done and it'll look really nice once it's done. That truck is a 2018 with just over 40,000 miles. All right, ladies and gents, we got a car deal. We sold the used 2018 Colorado, took a deposit. We're gonna get it to the shop as far as detail, have them finish the whole vehicle, and then on Monday, my customer's gonna come back when the vehicle is done, give it their final approval, and as long as they're happy, we're good to go. Okay, now for the interaction between me and my customer that I'm dealing with via text and email from today. Essentially, this starts out as what's like an internet lead. And the reason I want to kind of go over this story is just to kind of give you a little insight of what it's like on our end at the dealership when we have these interactions. A customer puts a lead in, right? You're home, you go on the computer, you decide to put your information in to get a quote or whatever it may be from the dealer, that you're interested in talking to. So that's exactly what happened here. Once the lead comes in on our end, it's like a round robin, right? So if there's 5 of us staffed here, it just goes in order. I get a lead, then Ed, then Drew, then Dave, then John, back to me. And it just goes in a round robin, throughout the day as leads come in. This lead came to me. Now, when this lead came in, I was tied up with a delivery. So we do have a BDC off-site individual that can answer the lead for us and help out. And we also have Sal, the manager, that'll see leads and he'll help out. And that's exactly what happened. The gentleman basically said he's interested in a particular Chevy Trax that we have here, but before he goes to any dealership, he wants to obtain pricing. Our rep responded and said, listen, I can have my manager call you for more details. He said, I will not be taking any calls as I want everything in writing. So we said, no problem, we'll just text. Sal ended up texting a quote sheet on the specific 2025 Trax the customer was interested in. It's got MSRP, it's got a sale price, it's got tax, motor vehicle estimate, it's got our $399 documentation fee and an out the door number. Customer responded, thank you for a very quick response, but I'm disappointed in such a small discount on the 2025 when 26s are on the lot. Sal came back and said, listen, I completely understand. However, on these vehicles, there's not that much markup, so there's not that much savings, on a vehicle like the Trax, which is our entry-level vehicle. Customer then asked what would a lease look like. He needs 12,000 miles a year. He'll pay the taxes and fees up front, and he wants like a 24 or 36 month, whichever one is lower. On that specific Trax, we can do $392 a month. That's with $2,200 upfront to cover all the taxes and fees in New Jersey. That was last night, not too long before we closed. So this morning when I came in, I happened to see this lead ongoing. I didn't see any of this yesterday because I was with customers. So after reading through and realizing the gentleman doesn't want to be contacted via phone, I said, well, I'll just text him. So I just text, good morning, what are your thoughts? Then I followed up with a secondary text, which just explains, I'm Dave B. I'm the salesman assigned to your account here at Schumacher Chevrolet of Livingston. And I put the phone number. His response to my text was, my thoughts, ? These numbers are too high. So I replied, what are your expectations? Which I think is a fair enough question to ask. Where are you looking to be? His response was much lower than that. That doesn't help me. As a salesperson, I don't know what your expectations are, so really, where do I go from here? Now, very important to mention, when we looked at the lead, we see the town the gentleman lives in. At least that's the town he put in. Now, I took a quick look. He's 18 miles away from us, so it's not that far. However, this is North Jersey. There's a lot of dealers in this area, and everything's really compact and compressed into a small area. So if you leave his town and go 11 miles west, there's a Chevy store. 4 miles north, there's a Chevy store. And 6 miles south of him, there's a Chevy store. We're 18 miles away. So we're the furthest store away, and he's definitely shopping multiple locations. So Sal sees this up front, he understands this, and he puts his best foot forward, right? Because that's all you can do in these situations. If the gentleman's not willing to come in, not willing to take a phone call, the only thing you really have to stand on is that you have a vehicle in stock that he wants and the price of the car. So Sal put his best foot forward, and when that price is too high, well, where do I go from there? So what I replied was, okay, listen, well, we're not afraid of our numbers. So as you shop around, if you want to stop in and see the vehicle in person, take a test drive, I'll be happy to help out. And to me, that's really one of the best things you can say. You're acknowledging that they're going to shop. You're acknowledging that we're not afraid of our number, and you're acknowledging that you'll want to help the person out. When he sent that text, I was already typing another text. And one of the things I always point out is our $3.99 documentation fee. And that it's very important to ask dealers what their fees are and what dealer added options they may have, because that's really where this business has gone in the last number of years to build profit for a dealer. We don't do that sort of stuff here. I got no dealer add-ons. We don't put pinstripes on the car, door guards, nothing like that. One dealer fee, $3.99. And we know we're one of the lowest in the state of New Jersey. So I explained that in the text. I also explained, listen, I've been here for 20 plus years, and I strive to make the experience easy for people. So any way I can help out, let me know. He then said, well, if that's the case, I would think the 2025 lease number would be better. Is there anywhere you can move on this? So he's negotiating, right? He's doing his due diligence. I explained I'll look at the 2026 because ultimately the buy price on that 25 that he originally looked at that we had in stock is better than a 26. But when the 26s come out and the new model is in, a lot of times the banks want to lease the newest model. So it actually could be a better deal on the lease, even though the 2025 is less on a purchase price. So I told him I'll work up a quote on the 26, I'll send that over to him, which is what I did. Now again, we're being very transparent here. We're emailing him something in writing. It has everything laid out. The reason I do it this way is I feel like most dealers aren't gonna do it this way. They're not gonna make it easy. They're gonna read something like your price was insulting and they're gonna go to battle with the customer. Whereas that's not the way you should do it. What you should do is just keep giving the information, the stuff that they want, keep offering your assistance, keep offering your help, and hopefully that is what ends up earning your customer's business. I literally just said so much there. I don't know if any of that's going to make sense, but I'll figure that out when I edit it.